Paris at night looks magical online, but when you're actually there, it's busy, unpredictable, and very real. This night didn't go exactly as planned, and that's what made it interesting. Hi, welcome to Travel Smarter, where we share real travel experiences, not perfect ones. These clips were filmed during one full evening walk in Paris, starting at Place Vendôme, passing the Louvre, and ending near the Eiffel Tower. You'll see crowds, changes of plans, walking instead of taking the metro, and small moments that made the night feel real. And if you enjoy honest, practical travel content, feel free to like the video and subscribe. I started my evening here at Place Vendôme. This was actually supposed to be a meeting point. I was planning to meet a friend here, but she had a sudden emergency and couldn't make it. For a moment, I thought about leaving right away, but instead, I stayed. And when you slow down, you start noticing things. This place feels polished, elegant, almost quiet compared to other parts of Paris. Luxury shops everywhere, Cartier, Chanel, Louis Vuitton. I noticed people queuing outside some of these stores, especially Louis Vuitton. And I honestly wondered, do they really have extra money to spend? Or are they just curious, just looking? What do you think? I'd love to know. Travel does that. It puts you in places where you observe lives very different from your own. What stood out to me here wasn't the brands. It was how quiet everything felt. For a place that represents so much wealth and power, there was almost no urgency. No one rushing, no one arguing, no loud conversations. I noticed people slowing down without realizing it. Even the way people walked felt different. This isn't a place you come to do something. It's a place you come to notice details. The symmetry, the lighting, the way the buildings frame the square. Everything feels controlled, almost deliberate. It made me think about how travel isn't always about excitement. Sometimes it's about contrast. If you're tired of crowds but don't want to leave the city center, this kind of place gives you a mental break, even if it's just for 10 minutes. I didn't stay long, but it stayed with me. From Place Vendôme, I decided to walk. This is one of the things I love about Paris. You don't need a plan for every step. One street feels quiet, the next feels busy. Cafes, people talking, cars passing, then suddenly calm again. Walking gives you time to process where you are. Sometimes walking isn't about getting somewhere, and it's about letting the city reveal itself. When I reached the Louvre, it was already dark. There were still people around, but the energy was different from the daytime. People walked slower. The lights softened the building. I didn't go inside, and I didn't feel like I was missing anything. Standing outside, watching people pass felt enough. Not every travel experience needs a ticket. Sometimes the atmosphere is the experience. The Louvre feels different when the day is over. There's less urgency here at night, like the building finally gets to breathe. I watched people slow their steps without realizing it, lowering their voices, taking fewer photos. The reflections, the lighting, the quiet movement. Everything feels more intentional. It made me realize how often we rush through places that deserve a pause. This was one of those moments where standing still felt like enough. At this point, I had a choice. I could take the metro to the Eiffel Tower, quick and easy, or I could walk. I was tired, but I decided to walk. Not because it was faster, but because I wanted to enjoy the night. Travel isn't always about efficiency. Sometimes it's about choosing the slower option. That walk changed the night. Paris kept shifting. Busy streets, then quiet ones. Groups of tourists, then locals heading home. After a while, I started to feel tired. That's something travel videos don't always show, the fatigue. Your feet hurt, you're hungry, and suddenly comfort matters more than plans. I didn't want anything fancy. I didn't want to research restaurants or wait in long lines. So I stopped at a restaurant. Simple, warm, easy. It wasn't memorable food, but it was exactly what I needed. Not every meal needs to be an experience. Sometimes it just needs to help you keep going. And finally, I reached the Eiffel Tower. Yes, it was crowded, very crowded. People everywhere, phones up, waiting for the sparkle. At first, it can feel overwhelming. But then something happens. People stop rushing. They just stand, watch, smile. I didn't try to get close. I didn't try to get the perfect photo. I just stood back and watched people watching the tower. That moment felt more meaningful than the photo ever could. If you're here at night, don't fight the crowd. Accept it, and you'll enjoy it more. Standing here, what surprised me most wasn't the size of the crowd, it was how patient everyone was. People weren't just passing through, they were waiting for the lights, waiting for a moment. I noticed how strangers started talking to each other, sharing cameras, pointing up at the same time. At some point, the noise faded into the background, and the tower became the focus. It reminded me that sometimes the experience isn't about the place itself, but about how people respond to it. I stayed longer than I planned. Not to do anything, just to be there. On the way, I passed a Christmas market. Bright lights, music, food smells, and a lot of people. It looks magical, but it's also expensive and busy. I didn't buy much, I just walked through. Treat Christmas markets like a walk, not a meal. The Christmas market was loud, bright, and full of energy. There's a pull to it. The lights, the music, the smells. Even if you don't plan to buy anything. I noticed how people weren't really there for the food. They were there for the feeling. Holding a cup, walking slowly, looking around, it becomes part of the experience. It's easy to spend money here without thinking, but it's just as easy to enjoy it without buying much. Sometimes walking through is enough. Paris at night isn't perfect. It's crowded. It's expensive. Plans change, but that's what makes it real. If you expect perfection, you'll be disappointed. If you expect reality, you'll find moments that stay with you. Travel smarter doesn't mean doing more, it means noticing more. If you enjoyed this honest walk through Paris, let me know in the comments. And if you'd like more realistic, thoughtful travel content, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends. It really helps me out. I hope to see you in my next video. Until then, travel smarter.